IDJ?
Polako ženska sve u svoje vrijeme.
Zašto je video na engleskom?
Da bi više ljudi razumelo. Aj čao. Tomorrow, we're going to be blessed with Serbia's contenders for Eurovision for 2025. We will be choosing our 18th representative at Eurovision since we started competing there in 2007. I wrote this list of ranking our Eurovision entries back when Eurovision 2024 finished, but life and responsibilities got in the way, so I kept postponing doing that video until, well, today. I'm going to be ranking the top 10 Serbian entries at Eurovision based on personal preferences. The actual performance at Eurovision, influenced slightly by how it placed into competition, how interesting or different the song is, how demanding it is as a performance piece, how it was composed, how the lyrics are, and whatever else comes to mind. Since top 17 is a weird thing to say, and I don't want to dwell on some bad entries, at least in these first couple of minutes of the video that most people will watch. First, I will give you my top 10, going from 10 to 1. After that, I will say how I ranked the other 7 songs from the 11th to 17th placement. Without any further ado, let us begin. In the 10th place, I have Ovo je Balkan by Milan Stankovic. This song was chosen to represent us after going up against 2 other songs made by Goran Begovic in 2010. At Eurovision, it placed 13th in the finale. This isn't a serious song by any means, and compared to some songs that are not in the top 10, its production is pretty outdated even by 2010 standards. However, even though it's a silly song with lyrics that mean virtually nothing, it allows Milan to flex his vocal cords and show us how great of a performer he can be. He tones down his abuse of vibrato taught at Grand Production and learns to use it in appropriate places in the song, in the melody, to add some spice to it. The verses allow Milan to rest a little from the high energy chorus, during which, in the performance, he also dances along to, making what he did at Eurovision substantially harder. Again, it's silly, it's inoffensive, it's high energy, but still vocally challenging. I'm going to talk about the 9th and 8th place songs together here because I chose Hasta la Vista and Loco Loco for these 2 spots, as the latter is the upgraded version of this style of song to the former. They're both dance pop songs created to allow Hurricane to show off their assets. Vocals in the case of Sanya and Ksenia, and dancing for, well, all 3 of them really, but primarily Ivana. The line distribution of both songs is much better live because Sanya covers a lot of the lines in the studio version that she does not really need to be on. These 2 songs, kind of like Ovo je Balkan, are not serious songs. They're meant to be there to make you want to dance and be in awe of the performer, how they're able to sing at all while breaking their backs and legs on that stage, with Loco Loco being the ultimate form of this kind of a song, or rather a performance, at least for Serbia. That performance is so iconic to this day because of the power showed off by Hurricane. Sadly, Ksenia is the only one showing any sort of power nowadays, supporting the protests in the country, whereas Sanya and Ivana are alarmingly silent and ignoring the problem. Is working with people in SNS worth it just to have a mediocre career? Is it? As much as I love high-energy pop songs, we're not that great at them. What we're great at, though, are ballads. Ramonda by Teodora is in the 7th place for me. She represented us last year and placed 17th in the finale. I've made an entire video dissecting that song as well as the fascist anthem Govno Orlovo, so go watch it if you want. But essentially, this song is heavily inspired by the trends in global pop music, which rarely happens in Serbia. We're usually late for everything at least 5 years. The execution of the studio version is a little flawed because instead of relying on Teodora's vocals, the key moments of her singing in the song are done digitally. However, it does not take away from the message of the song. It's about depression, feeling like nobody's hearing out your problems, but still fighting for yourself and finding the light at the end of the tunnel. The song alludes to historical events to remind us that it's in our blood as Serbian people to fight even when we're at our lowest. The performance at Peze was phenomenal, and the emotional singing and the suffocating but hope-giving staging really gave life to the song. Teodora, like many artists, was sabotaged in Sweden, given the god-awful stage stage design and light work. I don't know what happened to Teodora there, but you could tell that she was not 100% at the competition. Even dodging singing some of the parts of the song and choosing to lip sync over the pre-recorded track. Either way, this will always and forever be the better choice out of the top 2 of that year, but still, it was not the best choice. In the 6th place, we have yet another ballad, but this time it's a power ballad by Sanja Vucic. Goodbye, Shelter from 2016. Sanja placed 18th in the finale that year, probably mostly because of the staging. We won with Maria and the staging of Singer in the middle, 5 people behind, and for some reason, we try to do it every couple of years, but just, guys, give it up. It's not gonna happen again. The song's message is very important. It's about domestic violence and how victims of it can and do fight against it. However, as it is a systematic problem, the subject in this song end on a somber note, but at least there is that hope that the song can give. Sanja's vocals are absolutely incredible, and this song kickstarted her career. 2016 was a very good year at Eurovision, and there were too many great entries that year, Sanja being of course one of them, so Sanja placing 17th is not really that bad of a result. Let's bring up the tone now and talk about a bubbly, cheery, fun entry that I think is one of the most underrated songs we have sent to Eurovision. Charoban by Nina. This song represented us at the 2011 Eurovision, placing 14th in the finale. I'm a sucker for songs that are simply put nice. Like if this song were a person, they would be so inoffensive and so warm. You would love spending time with them. The song does not reinvent the wheel, but rather goes for a 60s vibe sonically. Lyrically, it's a love song about affirming your love for someone and knowing you have that one person in your life that could make your day better just by being in their presence. On top of that, the singing. Nina's voice is magical, no pun intended. She has such a clear girly tone, which goes well with the verses. The choruses, however, add some more spice to the melody, but the last minute of the song is where it's at, really. Nina's belting in the studio version and then also in the performance is diabolically good. While I do prefer performances that are a little more elaborate for the performer, Nina is able to grab my attention and give me goosebumps just with her incredible vocal skills, which is not something everyone can do. We're going back to the ballads now with Nije ljubav stvar by Željko Joksimović. Remember that thing I said about someone grabbing my attention and giving me a physical reaction with their voice? Yeah, well, this performance. Željko is a master at Eurovision, so it was no surprise that he placed 3rd in the 2012 competition. It doesn't pack a punch lyrically, save for a couple of clever lines in the chorus. The song's main quality is the singing. I'm blown away every time I rewatch that performance, because what do you mean someone can sing like that? Like, how does he make it look so easy? Quite literally, the only reason why this song did not win that year was because of Euphoria and those Russian grandmas, but I'm gonna pretend that did not happen. So if you're gonna lose to anyone, it should be to the most popular Eurovision entry of all time. We're kinda sticking to Željko now, because in the 3rd spot, I put Oro by Jelena Tomašević and Bora Dukic. I'm not a patriotic person at all, but watching this performance, watching Jelena sing Oro in Belgrade at Eurovision chills every time. The song is mystical thanks to its folk sound, but the lyrics also provide this strange, sinister yet calming feeling. The song is so layered, even though it's just a song about an ex. Like, this song is literally just about somebody's ex, but it's written, composed, and produced so masterfully that such a basic subject is done in a very artful and thoughtful way. Jelena singing is really incredible here, and I love the emotion that she brings to the song. However, the smartest part of this song, when it comes to the production of course, and knowing that you're competing at Eurovision, is the fact that it has a hook that anyone, no matter what their mother tongue is, can sing. Nuna nei, bitch. Nuna nei. Again, let's take a break from the ballads, and let's talk about the art piece that is In Corpore Sano by... It's coming out as Constructa, but like, no. In Corpore Sano by Constracta. My favorite moments in pop culture are the ones where conservative, religious, and uneducated people, which often are very much so the same groups of people, like they do overlap heavily in the Venn diagram of those three, say that something is satanic. My favorite descriptor. Once I start releasing music, you better call me satanic. The fact that Constracta wrote a song that lyrically is so layered that it could be about like 5 different things, but that it could also be about nothing, and it could just be like art for art's sake, which is yet another layer to the song that adds another meaning to the song, is genius. Constracta proves that you don't need a melody spanning 70,000 octaves to make a song be emotional. With slight changes in dynamic, the use of the choir, and the lyrics, she's able to convey both a message and emotion. I remember seeing this at Peze and not fully understanding it at first, but of course rooting for it against Sarajevo because like duh. But then watching it at Eurovision and having an eye-opening moment. So much so that I had to make a video dissecting the song. Not that many people in the world speak Serbian, but Constracta includes a hook that everyone can sing along to. The performance at Eurovision was quite literally a masterpiece. 2022, in retrospect, was a bad year for Eurovision results because they allowed politics to completely influence the outcome. Constracta placed 5th, but realistically, she placed 2nd that year. Chanel and her were on complete opposite ends of the performing spectrum, but they both delivered masterful performances. It's easy to say that anyone can do what Constracta did, but the reality is that nobody had before and nobody has since. The only downfall of this song really is the fact that it's not something that you would listen to on a regular basis. It's an art piece, and it should be consumed as such. However, the song in the first place can be experienced daily, hourly if you will, and you could never get tired of its greatness. Of course, I'm putting the song Molitva by Marija Šerifović in the top spot. What a great story and representation for us as a country this was. Becoming independent, economically getting better, modernizing ourselves, and all that being symbolized in Marija's win at Eurovision. Here you had this little butch lesbian representing a highly conservative country that we chose ourselves. Behind her, 5 women. All 6 women wearing suits, looking serious and powerful. It really works phenomenally well visually. The connection between the 5 women and Marija's delivery of the high note and runs in the final part of the song, with the 5 women behind her supporting her and allowing her to air out her grievances about the past, is so powerful and touching. The song does not disappoint lyrically either. It's about lost love and the state of the person yearning for that love. But the focal point isn't that other person, like people usually do in our music, but the emotion of the subject of the song. What I love about this song too, it's that it's unisex. It can be sung by anyone, about anyone, which again is very progressive for Serbia in 2007. But sadly also it would be progressive for Serbia in 2025. We've just gone backwards. I hate it here. The singing, yeah, fantastic. Like, what can I say? Marija's delivery of this song will forever be iconic. So, we've talked about greatness. Now let's talk about the not so greatness. Yeah, that doesn't work. Listen, I would say that only 2 of our songs at Eurovision have been bad, and obviously those 2 songs are going to be in my bottom spots here, but the other 5 are either just not fully realized or boring as hell. In the 11th place, we have the song Ljubav je svuda by SNSD 3. This song represented us at 2013's Eurovision, and it did not qualify for the finale. The song itself is fine. It's an attempt to show Nevena and Mirna's great belting capabilities, as well as Sara's ability to act while she's singing. The song also tells a story. Nevena is in love, Mirna is the angel on her shoulder, Sara is the devil, and the angel and the devil are fighting. The lyrics are very Disney Channel. The concept is definitely there, and I applaud them for trying to do it, but they didn't do it well. Vocally, live, they really did do a good job. Nobody was thinking that they wouldn't, and Sara really camped it up with the performance. But you cannot sing a song with a story in a language that 19% of the audience does not understand and where they visually have no idea what's going on. These costumes are awful, and they take away from the performance. The looks at the national competition were good, as they are the most literal angel, devil, someone in the middle outfits that are not Halloween costumes. Though these might have been Halloween costumes, I don't know. Plus, they were very controversial for all the right reasons at the time, which is always a plus. There are bits and pieces of a solid performance here, but the execution sadly let it down. But again, I will applaud them for trying something different. The next song is also also Disney Channel-esque. Beauty Never Lies by Bojana Stamenov. This is our 5th best performing song at Eurovision, placing 10th in the finale. But like, it's so fucking generic. Oh, I'm beautiful and everyone is different and that's so beautiful. Oh, I'm sorry, was this supposed to be the song for Junior Eurovision of that year? The lyrics are very immature and I'm not a fan of EDM at all, like top 5 worst genres of all time, especially not with very loud vocals. Bojana's singing is incredible, there's no doubt about it, and it was very good live, but it just sounds like noise when it's all put together like that. Visually, the performance was also an attack on senses, but again, at least it's not boring. The next 3 songs are boring. I genuinely don't have more than like 2 sentences to say about each of them. Number 13, Nova Deca from 2018. At least it's experimental, but the intro of the song is too long, and the only interesting part of the song is the chorus that loses its quality after being repeated, because nothing was done to actually change it. Kruna from 2019 is in the 14th place. Now this song should be in the last place for Nevena playing air guitar during her ballad, that just happens to have a bit where an electric guitar is the main focus of the song. While the song is vocally challenging, I challenge anyone to make Nevena Božović interesting. In the 15th place is 2017's In Too Deep. What a bad run of songs we had in these 3 years. This song tries too hard to be too many things at once, ending up sounding generic and forgettable. The song in the 16th place is so bad and campy that it kinda crosses the line and becomes good? Our first non-qualifier, Cipela by Marko Kon. I'm still not over the robbery of Blagoslav za kraj in 2009. They need to reform that band immediately. Cipela takes advantage of Marko's deep voice and makes the verses of the song pretty hard to sing. The chorus is also pretty interesting, ditching the lower register of Marko's voice and letting him really go higher. However, the melody really is the only good quality here. The composition, the instrumental, sounds kind of like if someone heard Dancing Lasha Tumbai and was like, okay, but let's make it not gay. I don't want to make it seem like I'm about to make fun of Marko's looks, but he's a pretty interesting looking individual who cannot perform at all. Zero charisma on stage. And the comedic aspect of the song that we all remember of the song does not actually exist in the song. It's all in his delivery of the song. The worst of all is, of course, the horrible message of the lyrics. Oh, women are whores and only want me if I have money and get rich. Yeah, sure. That's the problem here, that you're not rich. Our worst song at Eurovision, a song that's offensive and alarming and bad on literally every level, is Samo mi se spava by Look Black. It's not generic and it tried something new. However, Konstrakta said it best in her song Novo Bolje, just because something is new does not mean that it's better, or in this case, good at all. I'll work in a reverse order now compared to the song Cipela, because I think the message of the song is horrible. The song literally tells you, if you have problems and you see that the world is burning, you should just go to sleep forever. Well, no, actually, not only that you should go to sleep, but that you want to go to sleep forever. The song is telling you, at best, to avoid solving problems and being an active member of your life or society, or at worst, to kill yourself. Like, I'm sorry, but how else am I supposed to interpret a song? Read any survivor of a suicide attempt story about why they tried committing suicide, like how they felt about it all. None of us wanted to be dead. We just wanted to not exist, which is exactly what this song is saying. Obviously, Luka could not know about the mass shootings that were going to happen in Serbia in May, but the fact that a tragedy that big had to happen for him to be like, oh, maybe this song has a bad message, is so alarming and detached from reality. Go to therapy. You can't even say that the song works as a composition, as it is a messy mix of downbeat dissonance, EDM, and synth music. I will say that a positive possibly could be the fact that it has a very creepy atmosphere, but if you relate the creepy atmosphere to the message of the song, again, it becomes sinister. But like bad sinister. Even though Luca lived in London, his pronunciation of English is laughable, as are his attempts at singing in the song. The dancing was bad and again, creepy for all the wrong reasons. Everything he put into the song could not even touch the excellence brought at the national competition by Gypsy and Philip Baloch. Oh, but should we talk about the racism and nepotism that happened 2 years ago that led to Luca's win? Nah, that's a story for another video. Alright, so good luck to anyone this year at our national competition. I will try not to rip you a new one when I talk about you. And please, let's try to place in the top 10 this year. Thank you for watching.